The Denver Broncos pre-draft press conference just wrapped up with Sean Payton and George Paton 1 week until the draft, and we're here to give you the biggest takeaways. And the first one, BPA, 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 best player available. That was the clear message throughout the 50-minute press conference. The Denver Broncos feel like they've built their roster to where they don't have a glaring need, where they have to reach and take a specific player or position in the draft. The Broncos feel comfortable taking the best player available, regardless of the position.
That best player available probably won't be a first-round pick, though, because they basically said they are not going to be trading away Jerry Jeudy. They will have to decide on his fifth-year option in the next couple of weeks. Sounds like they're going to pick that up because why wouldn't you? George Paton mentioned that he was one of the best receivers in the NFL over the last month of the season. Also said, we like Jerry. He's going to be here.
Another J on the offensive side of the ball. Javonte Williams will be playing with the Broncos at some point this season. George Paton was optimistic that Javonte will be back at some point in the season. The exact time frame, not very well known right now. He did not want to put any guarantees that he's going to be ready to start the season, which is coming off a little bit from what they've said earlier this offseason, but he is confident that Javonte will be back at some point in the season. And he also said that the Broncos are willing to take a running back if that's the best player available when their picks come around. And Sean Payton said that they feel comfortable with Samaje Perine. He kind of gives them some flexibility in order to draft a running back where they don't feel like they have to draft a running back.
And you know who's going to help them decide whether they or who the best player available is going to be? It's that analytics department that Sean Payton is really fired up about. He said, the analytics department is on a different level here. I'm like the driver of a new car that hasn't figured out how to get the seat warmers on. He's fired up. They're going to be using that analytics department throughout the season, but also next week in the draft.
Analytics is also going to help them determine whether they trade up, trade down, stay put in the draft. Both George Paton and Sean Payton on the same page that they're okay trading up in the draft. They're okay trading down in the draft. When Sean Payton was talking about it today, he made it very clear that it's easy to move around in the draft. It's just, it's very feasible to do. Sean Payton has a history of trading up in the draft. George Paton has a history of trading down in the draft, but they're not worried that those two philosophies are going to butt heads.
They are not worried at all. And they're also pretty fired up for football season because the whole team was in the building for the first time last week, starting on Tuesday with their workouts, but they haven't started talking about football yet. They haven't had any sort of football activities on the field, no football meetings. Sean Payton wants to push that off as far as he can, working on the lifting, working on the running, and then eventually getting into football later on.
And we're going to wrap this up the same way that Sean Payton wrapped up the press conference. Out of nowhere, Sean Payton said, we're going to try to keep golf carts upright. Of course, taking a little playful hit at Russell Wilson. Of course, his golf cart tipped over last week on the golf course. Sean Payton having some fun on the way out after a 50-minute press conference. But you don't have to watch 50 minutes. We just told you everything you need to know. The draft is in 1 week.